Today we have some major NFL news for the 2020 offseason. Now, with all the coronavirus going around, we don't really know when the exact new year is going to start as far as the NFL league goes. It may get pushed back, even the draft, but we have something NFL related to talk about today. We have a lot of things to talk about today, and I'm going to go over it all today right now. So as you guys know, the franchise tag deadline has been pushed back to Monday, and I did not expect all of this news to happen today, Friday the 13th. Because the deadline is pushed back to Monday. Usually you see all these happenings. We still might get one spurt of action right around Monday towards the deadline. This is basically the roundup for Friday the 13th. The Friday the 13th roundup. We got some franchise tag franchise tag news. We have releases, extensions, a lot of things to talk about. Let's get right into it. So the Titans made some moves. Now, their first move didn't happen today. I believe it was yesterday or maybe the day before that. I think it was yesterday, where the Titans have let go of Dion Lewis, the running back. Listen, I think it was about to happen. I know some Titans fans, especially MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment. Most notably, he was not a fan, to say the least, of Dion Lewis, and I think he was applauding that they cut him. And so they did. Along with that move, they also released Cameron Wake, who I expected that was going to happen. I believe this guy's like 36 years old, 37 years old, a pass rusher, and I'm sure he's going to want some still big pass rusher money, so I guess they don't want that kind of commitment, and they let him go. I'll move on to the other release that they made, and that was long-time Titan, and I'd probably one of the most favorite Titans that Titans fans must love the most. I'm not going to speak for them or anything like that, but Delanie Walker. I know Delanie Walker is still not in his prime, but he's still a decent tight end, and I know Titans fans are probably upset about this. Maybe they're not. I don't know. I haven't spoken to any since this happened, but those are some three moves that the Titans have made. On top of that, they're not re-signing Jack Conklin, so a lot of these key players, I wouldn't say Dion Lewis too much, but a pass rusher, we've got a tight end, a long-time tight end, and also a right tackle who just came off his rookie contract, coming off the roster. Notable players, not some random guys. Some notable players coming off that Titans roster, for better or for worse. So let's go on to some franchise tag news. We have Yannick Ngakoue. I think we expected this. I didn't really think it was going to happen because Jacksonville is very much under the cap, but now I'm hearing that a franchise tag doesn't really matter towards the cap. Maybe that's some false information, but my whole life I thought it did matter towards the cap. But either way, Jacksonville has franchise tag Yannick Ngakoue, but he's made it clear he does not want to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars, so you may see him holding out, or they're going to have to sign him to trade him. They're probably going to have to sign him on this franchise tag and trade him away. Either way, Yannick Ngakoue is going to make his money. That money is fully guaranteed. I think you can expect Yannick Ngakoue to make somewhere around $16 million, I think, is the defensive end franchise tag amount. So $16 million he'll be paid either way, whether he's a Jaguar or maybe a Giant. That being said, we then move on to Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons, one of the probably the best safety right now on the free agency market, has been franchise tagged by the Denver Broncos. Hunter Henry, the tight end of the Chargers, he was another big name in free agency that a lot of teams may want to target, looking for a tight end. He's been franchise tagged as well, and he's another guy that's very consistent, has a lot of injury issues, but when he's on the field, very consistent. So he's another guy that comes off the board for a lot of teams. And Matt Judon, I think everybody expected this. There was news in January talking about Matt Judon being franchise tagged, so I think we all expected that to happen. But a lot of these guys, I was about to make my top 25 free agents going into this season, and all four of those guys were on my list, and now all four of those guys will be off my list, so I have to reset my whole list. And we also add some new guys to the list, as the Minnesota Vikings have made some moves today, releasing longtime players Xavier Rhodes and Linval Joseph. You guys know who Linval Joseph is, former New York Giant, most notably with the Minnesota Vikings, though. A longtime defensive tackle, still can do some work, still has some left in the tank. Xavier Rhodes as well. As far as finding a landing spot for these two players, Xavier Rhodes, I think my first guess right off the tip of my tongue is going to have to be the Detroit Lions. They need help on that defensive back area. They need some help in that secondary. And, you know, a lot of these free agents, where do they go? They go to their rivals because it's comfortable, just because it adds to the rivalry, just because there's some familiarity there, whether that be the stadium or the other players, or you get to play against your own teammates and your old team to prove a point. A lot of these teams do this, and I think the first landing spot I would have for Xavier Rhodes is the Detroit Lions. As far as Linval Joseph goes, any team could really use a defensive tackle. You really can't stack up too much of those guys. I think the Giants have enough of those guys. That's one of the few teams I think he should go to. But I mean, there are a bunch of teams that he can land up on. I know he's going to find a home somewhere. He will not be on the couch day one of the NFL season. But the Vikings letting go of two of their most notable players. We have some other news now that the Miami Dolphins released Rashad Jones. I think this was another thing that was expected. The Miami Dolphins want to restart. Rashad Jones is getting up there in age. On top of that, he still has a big contract. So I think the Miami Dolphins want to rebuild from the ground up, get these guys on rookie contracts, and try to groom their players, their young players, to try to start something great. Also, guys, I didn't mention this as well. The Titans also have released Ryan Suckup, their kicker. So any team looking for a kicker, I know there's a bunch of them. I think the Jets, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are always in the running. Maybe the New England Patriots, maybe the New York Giants. If they really want to cut ties with Aldrick Rosas, they can go up and get Ryan Suckup. So he will be another valuable target in free agency. He may make my top 25 list. I don't know. Anyway, last but not least, I know there's going to be some guys released, franchise tagged after making this video. So maybe I'll do separate videos, or maybe the next day I'll do a video of part 2 of the roundup. But last but not least, as far as the releasing goes for most notable players, you see Jimmy Graham there. He was released. This is another thing that was expected. I should have made a video on that because there was a bunch of guys I knew that still had contracts going into next season that I knew were just going to be free agents this season. And then we have 2 extensions. We have Quinton Spain, who I think was re-signed, not extended, but re-signed, which I don't know if he was able to do that. I guess he's able to do that. Oh, he is able. I thought being extended. I don't know. But Quinton Spain is going to be with the Buffalo Bills for another 3 years, and from what I'm looking at the comments, Buffalo Bills fans are ecstatic about it, so congrats Bills fans. And then Danny Trevathan, the inside linebacker for the Chicago Bears, has also been extended. So that is the I guess Friday the 13th roundup for the NFL 2020 offseason. If you guys have any questions, you guys have any comments, leave it in the comment section below. If you guys liked what you saw, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you guys on the next video.